Y'all already know, man. This is Jobs with Intellectually Petty Radio. We got my man G
Yes,
from
sir.
Foreign Magazine.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about you? How's your family?
Man, family doing good. Expecting a new addition to the family, man. So that's always a blessing. So, man, I couldn't be more better right now, man. I'm very happy right now, man.
So this your first? You got
No,
married?
this my third. This my third. So yeah,
First time you held your first child, what went through your mind?
man. Responsibility.
Oh, that's crazy.
That immediately.
That shit. Nigga, I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good.
When you have a kid though, man, like for men, you see like walking her down the aisle if it's a girl.
Yeah.
Or going to you see their whole life flash in front of you.
Absolutely.
What's the best day? And happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you. Same to you. Yes, sir.
Most important part of being a father.
Most important part about being a father, I would say, is being present. A lot of times as fathers, of course we always want to be providers and we always want to take care of our children. But sometimes we kind of lack being able to see that being present, being available, sitting down and having them conversations whenever they're ready to have those conversations, man, that go a lot further. Because at the end of the day, experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
That's where we get our wisdom from. And when you give that wisdom to the next generation, that's how you extend I would say the sacredness of your family. So if you're a good individual as a man, as a father, and you pass those trinkets down to your son or your daughter, they don't have no choice but to be better than you and take it to the next level. So I would just say being present.
Okay, so work-wise, how long has Foreign Magazine been doing their thing?
So the Foreign Magazine, we've been going since 2017.
Okay.
It's an idea that I came up with while doing 6 years in prison. So as I was sitting on my bunk and I was just looking at, the music scene of Detroit, but not being present to actually see it, I came up with this idea, came home, and I saw the value of social media. And then my journey with the Foreign Magazine began right there, 2017.
First day in prison. Biggest fear.
Biggest fear, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I ain't really have like a super fear, only because I wasn't by myself. So my co-defendant, my brother, they actually wrote us in the same location together. So as long as I had my brother, my mans, you feel me, I felt like we was good and we would figure it out. So honestly, man, going into the first day, man, I was just peeping game, seeing what's going on, figuring out how things go.
Better than me, nigga, because they get 3 days in jail and I'm crying.
No, for sure.
Yo, so I'm watching this young dude. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but old boy was saying that Chris Brown was better than Michael Jackson. And when I took my old fat nigga out of it, he got some credence to it. Talent-wise, what do you think? Is that a fair argument?
I do feel like it's a legitimate argument. At the same time, man, Mike is Mike. Michael Jackson had people fainting, going to the hospital crying, and that's not to take nothing away from Chris Brown, because some of those same things are happening. But Michael Jackson is the forerunner. He's the beginning of it. Chris Brown, I feel like even when you had that conversation with Chris Brown, if he was to objectively speak and answer that question, I believe Chris Brown would answer Michael Jackson, man. So shout out to Chris Brown. Do I feel like, if we was to say who would be directly up under him, or who would we say like, would directly be his rival, it would have to be Chris. Like, since Mike, nobody has done what Chris Brown, has been able to do. So me personally, man, I gotta go Mike.
So I had Denon Porter on the show last week. We got to talk about Proof, and during Proof's run, he was the glue to hip hop in Detroit. Who would you say, and it doesn't have to be an artist, but who would you say is probably the most important piece to hip hop in Detroit currently?
Wow, man, that's a tough question, because everybody play their role in their own way. If I was to say who is the glue in Detroit right now, I personally would have to say Peasy. And the only reason why I would say Peasy is because he got relationships with Team Eastside and all of those guys on the East Side, but he also got relationships with a lot of people on the West Side as well. And I'm to the belief that a large reason of why the Doughboys and Team Eastside issues was dissolved. Of course, everybody, played their part, but I definitely believe that Peasy played a large role in being able to communicate with each side. Even with the younger generation, with the politics that's going on, for the most part, Peasy got a direct line that can communicate with all of those guys, man. So for me, I'm gonna say Big Ghetto.
Skilla Baby getting shot. Does that add to the harmony of hip hop in Detroit, or does it set us back 5 to 10 years?
And I'm gonna automatically say, it set us back to some type of degree. Anytime violence or anything, like, we all know the rule of business, and that violence automatically mess up the money for everybody.
Fact.
I don't really know too much what's going on, you feel me? So, of course I don't go too deep off into that, but just to specifically answer your question of does it set us back, I automatically gotta say, yeah, it set us back, because any violence set Detroit back. So yeah.
Who should we be looking out for over the next year or two?
Artist wise,
Yeah.
or man, over the next year or two, man, there's so many different people that's doing their thing right now. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I don't really want to get in trouble saying saying too many names.
I got you.
Especially because of the politics that's going on. So I don't really want to say nobody's name to,
Is that fair though? Like why should we have to tiptoe around certain shit?
Because people lack understanding. People lack understanding, and people automatically, it's like an endorsement, man. So when you got politics that's going on,
yeah,
and somebody with a platform or with a name or whatever the case may be, shouts out that individual, it looks like you're, you sending more, you co-signing, and you sending more fans or more people, that way. So I would say that, man. But shout out to everybody, man. East, West, Southwest, man. There's some artists coming up in Southwest that's doing their thing, man. Just shout out to everybody. I'm a fan of everybody in Detroit, man. So that's what it is.
I'm a fan of everybody in Detroit, just not necessarily everybody music.
Yeah.
But I'm an old fat nigga in my basement.
Yeah.
So I can kind of get away, probably more so. But I do appreciate the love that this generation seems to have genuinely, not just for the craft, but for each other. And even when they don't like each other, how they resolving their issues amongst themselves without looking to elders and shit. Because they ain't really our place. I'm a nobody. Like you reaching out to, if M got to come, resolve a situation, or Royce or something like that, I guess that's different. But for the most part, man, if you fix your own shit, we can't fix it for you. Is there any advice that you want to leave to that young man or woman that wants to have their own magazine or their own platform? They kind of want to follow in your footsteps.
Yeah, man, I would say just discover your purpose. The reason why you're doing it is always, and it's always important to figure out your why.
Okay.
Once you have your why, that's what I believe gives you longevity, because there's going to be times that you don't want to do it. There's going to be times that you don't, want to wake up and make that post or do that interview. But if you know why you're doing it and you're motivated by that why, and it's rooted in your purpose, then you'll get up and do it anyway, man. So consistency is key. Understanding your why is gonna feed that consistency. And really with that, man, that's all I really got to tell, young people.
So here's one question I ask everybody that comes on the show. Has absolutely nothing to do with nothing, but here goes. So you're sitting on a park bench, and God sits down next to you and says you can ask him or her one question. What would it be?
Nothing. I would just say thank you.
Really?
I would say thank you, because no matter what I've been through in life, the ups, the downs, man, I just have so much gratitude, for God, the Creator, Allah, whoever you call him. It's at the end of the day, it's only one God, it's only one source, it's only one thing that's fueling this whole thing that we, exist in, called life. So with everything that I've gone through, good, bad, ugly, I'm still here. to be able to impact the world in any type of way. So I would just say thank you for the opportunity, man. So that's pretty much it.
That's dope. Would you ask? Let me ask you this: what if it was Satan?
If it was Satan,
Yeah.
Man, that's a hell of a question.
I have a few sometimes.
If I was sitting in a park bench next to Satan and he said that I could ask him anything,
One question.
I would probably ask him why. And I wouldn't ask him why for me, but I would ask him why for other people, because it's people that's going through things that don't understand why they're going through it. You know what I mean? They don't understand why, little children are being raped, why, our women is being, abducted and all of these different things. And that's a common question that people ask God is, if you're an all-knowing God and you're such a good God, they ask, why would you allow this to happen? So for me, I would probably just ask Satan, like, why you got this going on? So
Yo, I know you got a lot of shit going on.
Yes, sir.
Happy Juneteenth.
Yes, sir. Same
I
to
want
you.
to say thank you, man, for stopping
No
by,
problem.
man. It's
No
been an
problem.
honor, bro. If there's anything we can possibly do for you, just let me know, and I got you.
Yes, sir.
And you have a phenomenal day on purpose, bro.
Man, thank you, brother, man. It's a privilege and an honor to meet you. And man, y'all make sure y'all tap in, make sure y'all follow. This brother got some good questions, good insight, man. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, man. The podcast industry in Detroit is growing, and it's important that everybody tap in with these podcasts. Don't look at it as, oh, you don't have this amount of followers or this amount. Content is content, and then it's also about the people that's sitting on the opposite side that's asking the questions, because you never know where a good question take you in your career, man. And I feel like you ask very good questions, man. So
I
salute to
appreciate
you,
that.
brother. Yes, sir.
We try to be different over here.
Yes, sir.
A little bit.
That's what it is.
Anyway,
man.
this has been Jobs, another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio.
Yes, sir.
Tell them if you